Hello and welcome to TFYLP episode 225. I'm your host Megamus. With me tonight is Duran as he leaves the room real quick. Yay!
Hi.
Oh, as he leaves the room real quick. Brycey.
Hey, what's going
on? Michael Swift.
What's up, everybody?
And Jack.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so after wonderful computer and other technical difficulties, you may not know this, but this is our third try. And as you know, the third time is a charm. All right? So, Jack, we actually got video going?
Yeah, it says live now. It also says started streaming 1 minute ago, and I'm just waiting for it to load.
Hey, here we go. We're already one step ahead from the last two. So, I mean, we're golden. We're golden. So tonight we're going to talk about what motivates us, what gets us to collect what we want to collect, what do we want to do, what makes Jack happy other than seeing us on, well, I mean, everyone likes to see me on video, so of course, I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. But we're going to talk about why we collect what we collect. What do you guys think? What do you you know what I'm going to start with? Well, first of all, Michael Swift, why don't you run us through the Patreon and let us know about that. Let us know about the wonderful things that they're doing and the fact that we're here right now because of it.
Well, so a little history. A lot of people have been asking why they can't find the audio downloads of the podcast, and that is because about a month ago, you guys were hitting the server so hard downloading the audio podcast that our web host dropped us. That is a fantastic thing, except for we were suddenly without a place to host our podcast. So with the sudden need for more space, we had to upgrade our web host. And right now, Duran's actually working on getting that moved over. They just migrated our host or our domain, so he's got backups of everything. He's going to work on getting that stuff up soon. It's almost there. You'll be able to, listen to our entire backlog again, and it'll be golden. But with this comes increased costs to keep the podcast running. And so we had decided to go with Patreon to try to help support what we do every night or every week. And what Patreon is it allows our listeners to subscribe monthly and donate money basically to keep us running. And we have options from $1 to $100. Whatever you feel like giving, it helps. Each tier has a reward. There's something there for you. You're not given just to give. We give a little bit back. But this allows us to keep going. It's allowing us to, pay for the web domain. It's allowing us to start upgrading hardware and software so that we can start making a better product for you. So please consider it. Go over there and check it out. Thanks to all those who have already started their patronage. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Absolutely. Back to you, Brett.
Yay. Okay, so we were talking about what motivates us. That's what the main topic is tonight. And since he has taken a huge hiatus, I'm going to start with Bryce.
on? Oh, just for me?
Just for you.
Well, the back of the box said to collect them all, so I kind of had to.
I understand. I really do. Yeah. Did you get the app for that too?
No, that was too much work.
That's too much work. I mean, getting up and all. I know.
Yeah. I press the download button.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what's up with that, right?
Forget that. No, I had a bunch when I was a kid and then sold them stupidly. So I decided I wanted to actually complete the G1 line. And a good modern version, but classics kind of fell short, and then masterpieces kind of filled that role. So those are the only two I really care to collect anymore.
So you just do your G1 and your which I know includes the Japanese versions and all that. I know that, and then Masterpiece.
And any third party that's good enough to fit in Masterpiece. Has to be pretty accurate.
Okay. All right. So, but I mean, do you still feel the need that you need to collect them all? I mean, have you accomplished all G1 yet?
I'm missing like 10 pretenders.
How many?
10.
About 10 of them? Okay.
Yeah, they're pretenders.
But the main question though is why do you collect that specific thing?
I love G1. Like taking pictures of it. The characters, the stories, even the little mangas for the end of it, because they didn't feel like making any more shows. They were pretty fun.
Now, are you one of these guys that this is how you get back to your childhood?
No.
Is this what it is? Is this just reliving your childhood? Are you, when you get into your 40s, are you going to buy a nice sports car too? Is that how that works?
Screw that.
Okay. I understand.
At least he's honest about
Why?
it.
I know, but why? Think of all the Transformers you could buy with that money. I mean, come on now.
I won't have any left to buy.
They don't make a
Yeah,
sports car that
exactly.
transforms yet, so.
Yeah, actually, they do. I saw it on Facebook, so it must be true. It must be.
It might not drive, but it transforms.
That's
if it's
right.
on the internet, it must be true.
It must be
Yep.
true, right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, for a change of pace, we're going to go to our youngest our youngest cast member, who is
You're only
not
allowed to
Michael
watch.
Swift.
Shocker.
Well, he used to be.
Yeah,
When
you know
he used
that's
When he used to
something.
say the youngest, it used to be Mike.
That's something, isn't it, Michael? You know, you've seen the progression of age, and now you're not the youngest
You're
one on
an
the
old
cast
fart.
anymore.
I'm growing gray hairs now.
One.
Muffin.
Michael Swift is an old fart.
Look ahead, Jack.
We got to finish this. I have to go to bed by 10.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did you take your meds
Because
yet?
Mom told you to.
All right.
Just remember the big long little thing. Go with the one that's S for Saturday. Those are your meds.
Well, you gotta
S for
remember,
Sunday?
there's two S's.
The
So
first
go with the
one.
first
The right
S, not the second one.
All right. I'm on track then.
Good enough.
But anyways, I remember going. I was with my parents one night. It was, I think, when I was like 2 years old. So, God, what was it? Almost 20 years ago, already. So it was.
What were you, 2? 1?
Yeah. Well, it was around there. So yeah, it was with my parents, and they had a bowl league, and so we were at the bowling alley, and a couple friends of ours came down, and their son brought this robot, and I go, "What is that?" And he, tells me, "Oh, it's
Your mom.
bingo." But
It's your mom.
I couldn't remember which one it was. I want to say it was one of the earlier Armada figures or one of the robots in the skies. Like I said, I can't remember. So he pretty much describes what the character was, what it does, and all of a sudden I'm like, I want to get my own. So I want to say a couple days later, my mom brought me to the store and got me one. And I want to say it was Armada Red Alert, I think it was. And that's where it's pretty much started. And now now that I can actually do this, my collection has grown to that, far bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Then obviously I have some more behind there. But, yeah, I never expected collecting Transformers. I always wanted to try to be different than the usual high school kid, when they're most likely off somewhere smoking pot or getting laid. I didn't want to do that. It's true.
I don't want to get
did
laid.
not
I
wanna
want
do that.
toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You did notice, real quick, you did
I
notice
wanna
that
be a 40-year-old
the old farts here are talking about medication, going to sleep, and collecting, and he jumps right to that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Way
want
to
get
bring us
laid.
down.
I want toys.
But hey, it's better than that.
Hey, it's not all
yeah,
it's cracked up to be. Believe me.
On that note, dare I go to the second youngest, Michael Swift?
I mean, so
How do you follow that
motivations
up?
for collecting, like I've had a lot over the years. It started out with, well, I mean, really, I started out just wanting to play with toys. I don't know, it was 96. I was like 7 years old or something like that. And so I got my first Beast Wars figure, and then started watching the show in the mornings, and I just fell in love with Beast Wars. And then I just sort of kept going, and playing with toys turned into collecting them. And so, like, my motivations at first were, well, I got to collect everything. And then I grew out of that. And it's like, I'm going to collect all the things I'm going to collect the stuff that's for collectors, like classics, and I'm going to buy my Beast Wars figures, and I'm going to, pick and choose, but still collect everything. And then that sort of fell off, and I'm sort of starting to reach the point where I'm like, I sort of just care about Beast Wars at this point. Like, the new stuff coming out is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's sort of just like, I don't get super excited about it once I have it. So motivations have changed. Right now I collect them because there is a little bit of that that factor of as a kid going on sites like Unicron.com and looking at all the Beast Wars figures and thinking, what? I've never seen that. And at the time, when you're a kid, you pick and choose. You don't get a lot. And so now it's sort of like, I never had that. I want that. I never had that. I want that. There's some crazy Japanese recoloring of that. I want that. I'm at the point where it's like, oh, the chrome is a little different color. I want that. It's just sort of that evolution of the collector, I think. So, that's where I am right now. Why do I collect them? It's a lot of nostalgia.
But nostalgia for you is like 5 years ago. What are you talking about?
5 years ago.
Well, I think what Michael's saying though is something that we can expound upon here after we all go through what we collect and what we like about it. But something that he said, I want to cue in on, is the fact that his tastes have been evolving, I guess is the best way to put it, as he grows as a collector. What you collected 10 years ago is not necessarily what you collect now or what interests you now. And it can change. I want to talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit. But
it's like I think when I first and what influenced me to start collecting was actually, I'm that perfect age where the internet was a new thing and just, becoming something. And so we sort of set out and started exploring it and started finding groups of people who liked the same things. So I actually stumbled upon a website called Transformers Homage, which was run by one Duron Land.
I don't know who that is. I still don't know who he is.
And I discovered not only can I, have these toys, but I can collect them. And 2000s, like 2001 maybe, RID was coming out. I mean, I chose the name Sideburn 2 when I joined his website. And so I was like, I can collect these things. So I got this tiny little corner shelf and I started setting them up on there. I still took them down and played with them, but I would set them back up on there. And I remember that my first goal as a collector was I'm going to collect all of Armada. And I
tell
had
you, that Pokemon's catchy, isn't it?
I had a lot of Armada, but then I hit a point like 10 years later where I'm like, the Armada shelf just sits up there and it collects dust. I don't even carry enough to take them down and dust them anymore. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna offload them. And so that's just sort of how it sort of evolved over the years.
That's interesting.
Wow.
That's you just wait until you get to mine, because I'm going to go back to a lot of the things that you said. Believe it or not.
Wow,
Doran, you were saying?
Michael, I tell you what. I mean, I don't know if you're watching it on the YouTube right now. I'm going to do a screen share. Oops. Yeah. The old Transformers homage.com is still up here. Page last updated Sunday, October 27th, 2002. Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. But it's at a it's not at transformershomage.com. It's web.qx.net. That was my old web host whenever I first started doing
Back when
web
everything
hosting.
was an Angel Fire website.
Yeah, Geo crappy
GeoCities.
website. Yeah.
Nice. Well, Duran, you're up.
Well, like Michael said, my collecting habits have changed so much over the years. At one point, I would say 10 years ago, 2006 was in the heyday of my collection. And I know that sounds like, what's he talking about whenever you see all the ones behind me. But you got to understand, back in 2006, before I had my first massive sell-off, I had between 2,000 and 3,000 toys.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. I mean, I had so many. You've heard a lot of collectors, and a lot of you who are listening or watching the show right now, you've seen the people, people. You may even be one of them that stores a lot of their collection in totes, and you just don't have room for them to be on display. And I was one of those people. I had 3 or 4 nice-sized bookshelves, kind of like what Jack has back there, and they were like jam-packed full. I had nearly every single U.S. released G1 Transformer, with the exception of like Triptychon, and a few others, which I eventually would pick up, but I didn't have them all at the same time. But at that one time, I had all but about 60 U.S. released G1s, and most of them were Micromasters and Pretenders that I didn't have. And then I progressed a little bit later. I had from Fox Kids repaints of Beast Wars all the way through Energon, or Cybertron actually. In the first wave or two of Universe, I had everything loose and sealed, including store exclusives. And nice. It got to be too much for me. My wife at the time, she didn't mind as much. It's just we lived in a very, very small apartment, and it literally looked like a Toys R Us exploded in there. I had toys everywhere. The entertainment center in our living room, across the top of the entertainment center, had every U.S. released G1 Transformer, with the exception of Monstructor. That was I was about to buy one, and that's when I discovered GPS. I purchased a G2 Electro and received a box of dust, and I didn't know why it was like that, and I got to researching why it crumbled, and then I discovered that Slog from Monstructor was made of the same material, and that that kept me from ever purchasing that toy. But I had a very large collection, and I was mainly a G1 collector at that time, even though I did collect a lot of current line stuff. I focused a lot of my money on getting G1s. And this was back in the day when you could still get G1s. You could get a G1 Headmaster at that time complete for about $50 or $60. You try to do that today, and not so much.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. But it was fun. I had a massive sell-off, and I focused mainly on alternators and things of that line, that nature, Universe, Generations, and later which would later go into Generations. Nowadays, mainly Masterpiece and third-party Masterpiece style is what I focus my collection on. My entire G1 collection pretty much fits on a shelf in my DTOF right now. It's rather crammed shelf, but it's not a very big shelf, or not a big G1 collection. Although I would have to say G1 is my favorite era. So that's what drives my Masterpiece collecting, is my love of the original characters and the ultimate, I guess you would say, version of those characters. They look great in their robot forms, and then in their vehicle forms they look very realistic, a lot of them. And then you got like the third parties are knocking it out of the park with some of these things, like the Fans Toys Dinobots. I stand beside myself when I look at those guys, especially as a group.
They look awesome.
Yeah, I've already told myself that if I ever decide to sell almost everything I have, but keep just a few things, those Fans Toys Dinobots will stay with me, because I really don't see Takara Tomy topping those guys, especially in the size.
Way too big, way too heavy.
Way too big, way too heavy. The quality is just amazing on them. They are beautiful toys, and as a group, they are phenomenal. They look amazing. I don't think you can see it in the video, but I mean they're up there somewhere. But that is what I collect. What motivates me to collect it is just the love of the characters. I do have secondary collections right now. I like the new RID 2.0 Beast, or the Decepticon characters with the Beast influences on them. I don't care so much for the Autobots. I think I maybe have 2 Autobots, 3.
Just say it. You like to collect the weird things.
I do like to collect the weird things.
Hence the name Werewolf.
Yeah. But, I did have a good sized Beast collection, but they're actually dwindling now.
I want that taco tank. The taco tank. I see it behind you.
Yes.
It just takes money.
Get in line, man.
It just takes money.
I've already at TFCon. There was actually 3 people that came up to me and said they're interested in my taco tank if I ever sell it. and
it's mine.
And the
Volcano's better.
Yeah, and the
If I don't have one, it's mine.
The Niagara base right next to it. Brett wants it.
I want the waterfall.
Yeah, I have it. Nice and minty, and they may be for sale very, very soon. Because like I said, I had
for it, Brett.
Well, I had a big sell-off back in 2006 with all those G1s. A nice big fat check from BBTS back whenever they actually bought collections, and then I had another sell-off in. Let's see, that was in 2006. I had another sell-off in 2009, and then another somewhat major sell-off back about 3 years ago. I'm getting to the point now, going back to our last episode about size, there's some big boys out there, like G1 Fort Max, you got your Generations Metroplex, Titan Returns Fort Max. That's one of the main reasons I haven't picked up my Fort Max from Capture Prey, is that I just don't have the room for it right now, and I don't. I'm one of those that I don't want to display it on the floor or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I would rather mine be in a case. Yeah. I know.
Well, I wanted to ask
really
you something.
high up there.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you something. You were talking about stores that buy collections, especially vintage. Do you know of any stores that deal with vintage toys? Do you know of any?
No, none that anybody cares about.
I mean, any that people don't care about.
Possibly Mega Toy Fan, where you can maximize your collection while minimizing your costs. Megatoyfan.com. You can also find them on Facebook.
That's right. And you were talking about those fans' toys. Now, those are neat. Now, how would someone get stuff like that third party, the goodies from third party?
Well, somewhere where you might have some great prices and great service on those toys, and maybe a place called CapturedPrey.com. You might even be able to save $150 or more on domestic orders, and get free shipping with CapturedPrey.com. It's really awesome.
That is a wonderful, wonderful segue. Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Clever.
Anything else on your what motivates you?
Well, what motivates me is the completion of I'm a big G1 cartoon guy, and I know a lot of people knock it for its flaws and everything, but it's what I grew up with. I have a lot of sentimentality to it, even though it's cheesy in a lot of ways. Those characters endeared to me as a child, and so much so that here I am, a 41-and-a-half-year-old man, and I still love these characters. So that should say something about those cartoons, about those original toys. I love the chunkiness of the original toys. They're not the greatest toys in the world, honestly, by today's standards, but
They're awesome.
Through nostalgia, they are awesome. And there are some even by today's standards are pretty awesome. Deathsaurus, I represent with that character. I love it.
Freaking Jetfire.
Yeah, Jetfire was ahead of his time, even though he technically wasn't a Transformer original mold. But what motivates
still
me
have more articulation than Power Rangers toys. No.
Some of them do, yeah. But
Most.
what motivates me though now is the just collecting the show characters and the characters that I loved a lot. Whenever I look up at my masterpiece shelves, and it's like I go back in time and I think whenever I was this kid watching the G1 cartoon, what kind of toy I would have wanted to represent that character on the screen. These toys in the masterpiece form, whether it be third party or official, do that for me, and that's what keeps me going. And then you got your newer, like the Titan Returns. They're cheaper. They're not as complex and detailed as Masterpiece, but if they represent the original character in a good way. For example, this right here, I'm holding up Titan Returns Trigger Happy, with Master Shooter Target Master on him. He is like the most faithful update of that character I can imagine, unless they make a third-party version of it, which I don't see Takara doing one anytime soon.
Make Toys probably will pretty soon.
Probably.
After they're putting Point Blank out.
Yeah. So, I go that way. That's what floats my boat. That's why I collect it, because it's. I'd say the driving reason is nostalgia and love of the characters. If I had to boil it down to why do I collect what I collect, nostalgia and love of the characters. What about you, Brett?
Why do I love Power Rangers? I love Power Rangers because... Oh, wait a minute.
Amy Jo Johnson. Oh, wait. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, So
That was every kid my age's first crush.
So here's the thing. I remember running home from school watching the cartoon when as soon as you got off the bus, you ran home and you got to watch the cartoon. And it was neat. Loved it. Loved the cartoon. And then I'm going to segue a little bit. And then Robotech came out. And that became my favorite. Absolutely love Robotech. Robotech, love it. Love the cartoons, the comics, everything. Loved it. And what were their Veritex and everything based off of? Well, of course, Jetfire was based off of the Veritex. So I had to have Jetfire. And I bought a couple of them. And I decided to paint them up because, of course, I couldn't afford the Macross versions. They were actually a lot more, considerably more expensive. So I had a bunch of those. And then I got into, well, if you look at the Robotech line, it's really one-sided. There's a whole lot of different Veritex, and then there's like one or two different toys for the Zentradi. And so I had to get others. So make a long story short, I started buying more Transformers. Well, then that kind of got me back into Transformers. And one of the best ones was Predaking. I actually still have my original Predaking from when I was a kid. And absolutely loved it. Got out of collecting. And then Mike knows this story. Beast Wars got me back in. Beast Wars, the cartoon. When I started watching that again, I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. Then I saw the toys, and I actually bought the toys when they were reduced. Got them dirt cheap. And that's what got me back into it. So found out that all my G1s were worth a lot of money. So I started looking into them and decided I was going to see how long it would take me to get a complete set. And I did that. Had a complete loose set of G1. And for anyone listening right now, that's a good place to stop. That's a good place to stop. Because then you decide, I'm going to get them boxed. So then you start getting them boxed and carded and everything. And then when you do that, you go, wow, now what do I do? I'm going to get G2, which Jason would be loving that. So I got all the G2. Get everything G2 that they made. Then I went to Machine Wars. Then I went to, I even wrote it down just to make sure. Then I went back and I got all the Beast Wars. Made sure I got all of them. I got every single Beast Wars. And then, of course, that led to Beast Machines, which is hit or miss. Even Supreme, I had it one time. Supreme Cheetor. Ooh.
Don loves that toy.
I know he does. Yep. And then from there, RID came out, and I'll be honest with you, I hated it. Stopped me cold. I'm not buying anymore. So then I went back.
Blasphemer.
I know. Then I went back and I decided I'm going to get all the variations, which is what you said, which made me think about you. I'm going to get all the variations of Beast Wars. So I got all the different variations, the different colored chrome, the pink, the purple, the blue, got all that. And then I decided I was going to go back and find out more about G1. I found out there was variations on that. So I started getting all that and got into some crazy knockoffs. And then I found out I stumbled into prototypes. So I started doing prototypes. And then stumbled into Japanese, which loved it. Started doing all the Japanese. So as of right now, I've been doing a lot of the Japanese, the prototypes, and of course Masterpiece. Masterpiece to me is just, I love it because all my G1s are now, for the most part, in the box. In the Masterpiece, I can get out and fiddle and play with. So that was my lineage, I guess.
And that is what you call the ultimate evolution of a collector.
It was. And then it gets better. So then I went back and I decided to get rid of the Beast Machines. I got rid of some of the Beast Wars and all my Machine Wars and all my G2s. I got a few G2s left. And I just narrowed it down to G1, Japanese, and Machine War, or Masterpiece, and, of course, the prototypes. Now, what motivates me? It's what's fun. It's what's fun to play with. It's what's fun to there is part of that collecting value. I love it when I find something rare that I've never seen before, or I find out about it, and then that goes on my radar where I got to find it. And so then I spend a lot of time trying to find it, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And the biggest problem I've been running into, of course, as we talked to before about last show, is running out of space. However, and you guys are going to love it, but I went out today and I decided I was going to see what all the hoopla and everything was, and I bought my it's my first Titan Returns toy. So I actually bought my first Titan Returns toy, which is
Brainstorm.
Ooh.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, I saw him in a Walgreens for $20, and I said no.
They're $10 right now on sale.
Yeah, they are going for $10.79.
Yeah, they're 40% off. So I said, "What the heck?" So I thought I'd buy it. And I gotta say, it's Brainstorm. It looks like Brainstorm. They did a lot of things that I wish the original one would do, and then they did a lot of things that I don't like. The size is too small for me. I think it should be a little bigger. But
that's what she says.
There's a couple of things I do like about it.
Not just a little is what she said.
But we're not here for a review on this. But the reason that I do it is because I enjoy them. This to me, I could take this and put it right in front of the G1 box, and you would know this is Brainstorm. You would know it, and I love that. If you remember a while ago that they had some third party, and I actually did one on the two different ones that were out at the time. And I'll be honest with you, even those two don't look as good as this one.
Well, it's like Titan Returns Twinferno here. I don't care what you call it. That is undeniably Double Cross.
It absolutely is. It looks just like it. And I love that. Of course, he's not a headmaster, so I think that's stupid, but that's beside the point. So what gets me going? I mean, I'm not up on it like Bryce is, but I wrote articles on different variations, knockoffs, this, that, and the other, because it's what interests me. Is because there wasn't a whole lot of information out there. And one of my biggest, inspiration was Fred. When he put Fred's Workshop, his page, which had all the variations and everything, and I would go out and I'd try and find stuff that he didn't know about, or what he didn't find, or what he said it was out there but never sold, and stuff like that. And I wanted to do that with knockoffs. So that's where my love of vintage knockoffs came from. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. I got rid of a lot of this stuff. I mean, you were sitting there talking about all this stuff y'all had and everything. I can't even tell you how much stuff I've had at one time. I mean, if I had kept everything I bought and didn't sell any of it or get rid of it, my house would be full. It would be literally full. There's just so much. I mean, I would say that I've had at least three full sets of G1 toys.
Well,
one time or another.
To give you an idea, back in 2006, whenever I sold my G1 collection, as it were, and it wasn't just the G1s. I sold all my doubles and all that stuff, and a lot of the newer line things. Like I sold my Armada, all my Beasts at the time, all of my Unicron trilogy, pretty much, all went with that. With what I got out of that sale, I didn't have time nor the ability to piece it all out and sell it individually. So, whenever stores buy something from you, you don't get full retail or full resale value out of it, which sucks. But with the money that I got from that sale, I was able to pay off a lot of bills, and then I had enough money to take my then wife at the time on a trip to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. So yeah, I mean it was a sizable amount of money, in these, and that brings about another question that I have for everybody. Is money or is value of the toys a determining factor of why you would want a particular toy?
No.
No.
I like just having
Really?
them all.
No. Jack, what do you say?
Not really. It hasn't really crossed my mind at all. I just even if it's like an expensive figure, I still try to get it like the best as I can. And if I can't, then I'm just like, screw it. I mean,
Duran, explain that question a little further.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I guess what I mean is like, are there toys in your collection that you want just because of how much they're worth? Or is it,
how much you might see them being worth in the future?
I'm going to say 100% yes.
Well, see, and that's the opposite of me. I do have a $700, $800 toy in Deathsaurus and the Redeco and as Red Geist, which is worth $4 to $5 itself. They're expensive toys, but I didn't buy them because that's because of what they're worth. I mean, yeah, they kind of are prestige pieces in the collection. Not people can say, "Oh, wow, I like that." That's nice that you have that. But I love the character. I love the toy. It's fun to mess with. That's why I have it.
Is there anyone else that's on the same side as me?
I try not to think what they're worth. He's sitting like, I've got at least 7 or 8 over $1,000 figures sitting around me right now. I just don't want to really think about it.
like one just up over the right side of your head, like the Metro Titan.
Metro Titan, Leo Kaiser, Black Serac.
You want to be able to touch it without like walking on eggshells.
I transform my Black Serac all the time. People look at me funny. Like, see, look, it's a scorpion. They're like, what the fuck, Black? Watch out. It's GPS.
Here's the funny
Base
thing.
mode.
And when I say this, you might change your mind a little bit. Or maybe you won't. One of the main reasons that I stopped doing third party is because I am so sick of once you buy something, the value depreciates so bad. And what you have is not worth anything what you paid for it. And if you just waited, you could have got it cheaper. Or if you wait, you get the official. So
with third party, I
do
usually buy cheap.
I do not buy third party, mostly because I'm sick of it losing money so much. It depreciates so much. So when you ask me if what it's worth is a deciding factor, I'm going to say yes because of that.
Well, if you use that logic, though, you could apply the exact same logic to official toys. Because you can buy an official toy and, like a masterpiece. I don't know. Well, Exhaust is a good example. Whenever he first came out, you couldn't find them for under $100. Now you can find legit ones for $60 and $70, sealed.
Right.
Right.
But if I'm going to use that same logic all across everything that I buy, and let's just say I do, okay, it's just like stocks. So some of them go down and some of them go up, and I'm willing to risk that. But when I see consistently that third party are going down, I'm going to dump that stock.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I don't do that. Am I saying that this is my total investment? That's not what I'm saying. I was using that as an analogy. I'm saying I don't do third party, mostly because of they depreciate in value.
Future costs might influence me and when I buy something. Maybe I can't think of a good example of Transformers, but I also collect a lot of like Godzilla stuff. And those I will say, if I buy this now at retail price, I know that in 3 or 4 months when they're out of stock, they're going to start to double in value. Now I can't do that so often with Transformers. A lot of what we buy is mass produced on a level beyond that, but you can even start to consider with like with masterpiece figures and stuff like that. I mean, it might influence me in the time to say I need to buy it now or I can wait till later, because something might come out, sell out real fast, and then it shoots up in value, and you're like, do I buy it now when it's double or triple retail, or do I wait for the hype to die down? And once the hype dies down, usually it goes down in price. So
right, I'll give you a perfect example. Brainstorm, what I just bought.
Oh yeah,
Brainstorm. I didn't buy him. I saw him in stores.
Yeah.
But then when I saw him reduced down to $10, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give these guys a shot. And I did it. Is this just a small example of what I'm talking about? Sure. But I waited until it was dirt cheap, or at least cheap, before I bought it.
At the same time, value doesn't really influence how I choose to enjoy the figure, right? So, when I was at BotCon, I bought the 2 Lio Jr. puzzle sets, and I'm sure they were worth a lot more if I would have kept them in box sealed like they were. They were still shrink wrapped.
Well, if I remember correctly, I think someone told you to buy those. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I busted.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about variants. Variant. When you start getting excited about variants, that just shows how aged you are as a collector, I think.
Oh, I love variants. That's so good.
I mean, I'm over there digging at BotCon, digging in Beast Wars bins, and I see like an Air Razor, and I'm like, the chrome's a little weird looking on that. I run over to Megamus. I'm like, is there a pink chrome variant on Air Razor? He's like, yeah. All right. And so I run back and buy it.
I remember that.
So
I'm like, he's got it. You need to get that one. Okay.
I actually have two Beast Wars variants myself. Optimus Minor, the package variants. One of them has a
numerals and number 2.
Yeah. Yep. I
never
have both versions.
Yeah, the very first ones came out with Roman numerals, and they didn't like it, or it looked weird, so they changed it to a number 2. So, but no, I mean, I'm taking you at your literal word for what you said, and yes, there are certain things that I don't buy because I know they're going to go down in value. But then there's other things that I buy, and because I absolutely enjoy them, they're mostly G1s, and I don't think I'll ever get what I paid out of them.
I got a question for you, Brett, though, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. You know, you say you don't buy it because, well, you know it's going to go down in value. But what if it's a character or a group of characters that you really love? For example, like Combaticons. I know you love the Combaticons. Let's say a third-party version comes out, and it's like for the whole set, it's going to be $600 now. But down the road, you might be lucky if you sold the whole set for $100. Would you still buy it just because you love the character? I would.
I'd wait till it's $100 and then buy it.
Yeah, but you don't know it'll be $100.
Well, here's the kicker. All right.
Not talking about the Energon one.
No, right. Here's the kicker, and once again, we're talking about third-party stuff, and me and the names of third-party stuff is never going to happen. So, you got your third-party Leo Kaiser, third-party Abominus, third-party Predaking, third-party Minosaur, and third-party Bruticus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's say Predakings.
Yeah.
Bruticai.
Well, I'm just saying, I bought one of each, so I got 5 of them, all right?
Yeah.
5 of them. It took me 5 times losing money to figure out that I'm not going to buy any more of these. All right? I'm not doing it.
Just be patient
every
till
single
somebody
one
wants
of
to
the ones
sell
that
one.
every single one of the ones that I just mentioned cost me well over $500 each, and I probably could get them today for about half that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just not going to happen. I'm not doing it, and they take up a lot of space, and I don't have to worry about that now. So that's another plus in my life.
But what's to say that those same characters 20 years down the road, when they're not readily available, people say, "Hey, these were awesome versions of these characters. I want them," and they'll be, $1,000 for one of those because a lot of them are huge. I finally saw the Lyle Kaiser that you had combined. I didn't realize it was that big. I mean, that thing is come up to the chest on Generations Metroplex.
But here's combined. The kicker. I was fortunate enough to buy one of those at full mass value, which lost that's a lot of money. And I'm one of the first people, not really, but I get to get it, put it together, and see how much of a floppy piece of crap it is. And almost every one of the ones I just mentioned have flaws. For $500+ they all have flaws. And it's just I'm sick of it. I'm sick of flaws. I'm sick of them going down in value. I'm done with them.
I'm trying. I guess I'm trying to. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, though. But I can say the same thing for official toys too.
Sure.
There's official toys that are worth a lot of money. That's got flaws. Titan Returns Fort Max. A lot of people love that toy, but it's not perfect.
Right. But here's the kicker: if right now, and I don't know the next combiner coming out because they're so expensive. Let's say the next combiner that comes out is, I don't know, one that I love, Raiden. Let's say they do Raiden, and I love it, and it's $600, and I say no, I'm not going to buy it. I will guarantee you, in 2 or 3 years or whatever, when you said it's possible that this thing's not worth $1,000, I'm still not going to like it $1,000 worth, and I'll do just fine without it. So that doesn't bother me if they go up in value. So I hate to be a stickler on it, but that's just where I'm at on it. I just the third party binders and all that. Now, granted, there's some third parties that I still buy. There's still some, but it's mostly the combiners. I just stay away from.
So you would say that value influences your collecting, but it's more that you don't want to collect at a loss more than you think about it as, in the future I can sell this for double what I bought it for.
Sometimes. I'm not going to say that it 100% guides me, because if I see something that's just stupid cool, and to me it might be worth a lot of money. Look at like I said, the vintage knockoff stuff. Some people think that's not worth anything. I pay good money for some of that stuff, and some of the oddities that I buy. I like them, and I'll pay the money for it. But that's stuff that I enjoy. When it's just, I guess I got two parts to my collecting. When it comes to the more modern stuff, representations, and the third party stuff comes into that area, I don't want to lose money on them, and I'm sick of losing money on them. So yeah, it does kind of.
There is some logic to what you're saying, and I'm not knocking it in any way. But it's like, for me, that's if I stop and consider, I want that toy because it's valuable. That gets me into a whole other mindset when I'm collecting.
I can tell you that there's not one thing in this room that I bought strictly because I thought it was going to go up in value or I thought it was valuable. I bought it because I liked it. Otherwise, I'd be buying, priceless works of art or whatever because I think it'll go up in value. I don't know a Rembrandt from a Rosemont, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So that doesn't interest me. It's just like some people find fascination in coins or stamps or whatever. I could do all that, but they don't interest me. What you can do with it. And it reminds me, and yes, I'm one of these guys, and it wasn't 5 years ago, it was actually 7 years ago. It reminds me of my childhood. So there you go.
You were a child 7 years ago?
I was. I'm just hoping that I look as good as you when I'm 41.
People have watched this podcast enough to know that there's a bit of a child in all of us.
Well, we wouldn't
say child or childish.
We wouldn't be doing
child in all of us.
We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't have a little bit of our child inside of us. You're wearing
a little something wrong.
Yeah, well, everybody's got a little child inside of them, whether they admit it or not. Some people repress it a lot, but usually in their hobbies, their likes and interests, whether it be collecting toys or not, people they live out their childhood in some way. I don't care if you're an auto mechanic and you love working on your car. If you spend every weekend up underneath the hood of your car tinkering around on it, there's a little bit of your childhood in that because you love cars as a kid, I'm sure. So
tinker.
Yeah, tinker. Yeah.
Tinker.
We're not in the age yet where I can, on a Saturday go out and tinker with my giant robot.
No.
You do that outside, you might get in trouble.
He just loves playing with his Iron Giant.
Yep.
That's what he calls it. All right, sure. All right, getting away from that because obviously we just 100% went under the cover on that. And anyway, okay. All right, I'm going to go back around again, and I'm going to say start with Bryce and give me your greatest deal. The best, the one thing that you just went, man, look what I got for this.
I'm going to go with two. Buddy of mine that we've been chatting on TFW for a few years just said randomly, I got a Grandis. Do you want to buy it? It was missing a part. Ended up getting it for like $400. Found the part a couple of years later. The thing's like stupid expensive for one in this condition. It's still bone white, mint in box, all papers, everything. And probably my Leo Kaiser gift set. I got 2 Leo Kaisers, including that gift set. Sold off the other one and put $245 in my own pocket and kept a complete mint gift set. So that was a decent deal.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Nope.
Jack, got anything? Your greatest deal.
I kind of got two, like Bryce. The first one was, I want to say less than a year after moving back up to Wisconsin. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
But it was...
He got a cheese former.
Honestly, they need to make one of those.
Jeez.
Oh, wait, no, I can just go down to DairyCon. But
I have no idea why that struck me as funny, but cheese former was just really funny to me. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Go ahead.
But
More than Nate's the could.
I think it was right towards the end of Cybertron, and Target had a buy 2, get 1 free deal. So I was like, and it didn't say like any specifications, so you could have got like 2 Legends, bought 2 Legends and got, like a liter or maybe Primus free. That was pretty much the deal. It didn't have any specifications. So I bought the Deluxe Unicron and the Excellion, which was the Hotshot reed paint. He was like the Rodimus colors. So I bought those 2. Then the free figure I got was the Leader Optimus Prime, which at that time absolutely loved the figure. And now it's like when you try to find a complete figure of Cybertron Prime, he's like more than $80. At least double what he's gone for like 10 years ago.
I sold off all my Armada or Unicron trilogy stuff except that Leader Prime.
Yeah, he's such a fun figure.
It's so great.
That was one figure I'm still, because I don't have it, and I'm still hitting myself over it because I can't believe I let such a great figure go. Then the second one was actually a few weeks ago, from fellow cast member Sergio. He went to TFCon and he picked up the Fans Project DIA Commander kit, which was the Diaclone Optimus. He's kind of poking out like right there. And he was like, anybody want this? Like $70. I'm like, sold? Mainly because every time you look on eBay, mainly those goes for like $100. And you can't really find anything below that. Otherwise, if it is, then it's most likely the KO. But it's like every time you see one of those, it's always selling with whatever truck it's designed for. Like usually you see the
knockoff.
Yeah, that with a truck, or you see the Nemesis, which that one I think is like the most expensive going, because I've seen a couple with Nemesis mint and sealed box, and it's going. But he said 70. I'm like, yes, instant yes, because that was one figure one set that I was looking for I want to say 6 or 7 years, and I thought I was never gonna get it, just mainly because of the price. Finally, a friend of mine posted it, selling it for $70. I'm like, yes, please.
I actually
need
got the TFCon version of that for free. I was standing in the line with I had been out of work for a couple months by then. I was standing there with all my money for the show. I'm like, I'm getting this thing. My buddy's like, no, I got it for you.
Nice.
That was sweet.
Which one
It
was that?
Powered Commander.
Oh,
That was the TFCon version.
That
that
was
was
actually
their
sitting out
first
there.
major exclusive that was popular, wasn't it?
yeah, because that
It's
was
still
actually
over there.
that was the set I got really into that that specific set, the TFCon version, that I really wanted to get some form of that, and I've been hunting and I found one on Amazon and it was like $430. I'm like, no.
Ouch.
Ouch! Ouch, my anus.
So,
Yeah.
Mike,
Birds.
what do you think? What was yours?
So I think what was it, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, a friend of mine decided that he was going to trim down his collection and get rid of all of his Beast Wars. And so he sent me a message, and he's like, do you want all this stuff? And I said, yeah. How much for, piece it out? I might have to buy it little bits at a time because it was like 150, 200 figures or something like that.
I remember when this happened.
He said $100 for all of it.
Uh-oh.
So like 60% of my
hell.
like 60, maybe 70% of all my Beast Wars figures behind me, I got for $100.
Damn. Good score.
Yeah, so that was my big deal. I don't think I'm ever gonna get anything like that that cheap ever again.
I got a giant lot from a buddy for helping him sell his collection. We had priced it out to about $2,500, and then he was just like, "Yeah, you can have it." With most of my headmasters, bunch of like my Mint Box Wheeljack and Shockwave, just like, yeah, here. What?
Wow.
You sir are insane.
Yes.
But he still comes over at least like once every couple of months, and I'll let him like, here, grab Grand Max off this shelf and transform it. I don't give a shit. I can't really say no to him, so he's probably transformed most of my Japanese exclusives. And we'll sit here and have a couple beers while he's over and stuff.
Yeah, this transformer right here is worth about $1,500. I'm just going to transform it right now.
Hold on, have you seen what Blackster looks like in Scorpion mode? I'll show you.
Did I ever show you the secret toilet mode on Scorponok?
Looks better in black.
Hey, look, it even works. Zip.
I don't even want to know what you all were talking about.
No.
We were
Probably
peeing
not.
on Scorponok.
He's like, okay, I'm going back again. See you guys.
So I'm sorry, too much coffee. Had to stop for a second. So Mike, did Duran, did you go next?
Not yet, but actually my number one best deal that I've ever gotten, I've actually mentioned on this show before, so you longtime listeners, you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this. But about, what was it? Well, it was BotCon in St. Charles year before this, last year, still, technically. Not this past BotCon, but a BotCon before that. The Hartmans were selling off their collection, and they were selling off pretty much everything at cost. I mean, it was like dirt cheap. And I got the I want to say it was Transformers Universe, but it was still in the Armada packaging. The Destructicons, Bludgeon and Scourge, and I believe it's Bludgeon that goes for like $100 now, sealed, and then Scourge is worth about 40 to 50, depending on who wants it. But yeah, I got them both for like $30, $30 combined. I got them for $15 a piece. And I was happy with that. But my one toy that I wanted to get while I was at BotCon was Masterpiece Star Saber MP24. That was on my big want list. But I was running low on funds and everything, and I had the Destructicons, and I was walking around the dealer room. I'd bought them maybe 30 minutes prior, and there was a dealer, and he had a Masterpiece Star Saber, and I was looking at it. It was up on the high riser, and he was talking to me. He noticed. He goes, "Oh wow!" He says, "You've got the Destructicons." He says, "I've been looking for those." He says, "I don't want them to sell." He says, "I want them for my collection." He said, "Where'd you get them at?" And I said, "Well, they were the last ones." I said, "The Hartmans had them like that." And I said, he knew that the Hartmans were selling stuff dirt cheap. And he said, "Well, I hadn't had a chance to go back there and look at what they had." He said, "But they're worth a lot of money." He says, "I know Bludgeon is." And I said, "Well," I said, "I'm interested in that Star Saber like that." And he looked up there and he goes, "Even trade?" I said, "Here." So I got Masterpiece Star Saber for roughly $30.
Nice.
Sealed. And yeah, I was happy about that. I mean, I was happy to have the Destructicons, but that Star Saber was worth more to me. So I got that. Then this year at TFCon in Chicago, I got a near complete Road Caesar from our good friend Chuck Liu, Artfire 2000. I got all he's missing is his wrist lasers and the official swords. Everything else is there. And I got him for $283. He wanted $300 for it. Had a price tag of $400 on it. I got him down to $300, and I went to pay him, and then I realized I'd bought a soda at the expensive vending machine that morning, and I was shy just a few bucks. I'd bought a donut and a soda that morning. And I was counting out the money. I'm like, crap, I've only got $283. And he said, "Yours." So I'm like, that's awesome. And then fortunately, Megamus there hooked me up with some knockoff swords, which I didn't even know existed. So they're the wrong colors, but they're the right swords. So I've got the swords for Road Caesar. So
that was the Taiwan version.
Yeah. So
the 80s Taiwan. Yep.
If you talk to Spurt Reynolds, he can get you the wrist blasters repro for it too.
Yeah.
I think he's already got the molds made.
Well, there was somebody. I need to get the lasers for the Eagle Breastmaster on Deathsaurus.
He does that too.
I contacted somebody. I think you sent me to him on Facebook, and I asked him about it. He said he needed to get the molds out and put them together, and that's been 6 months ago, and I don't think he even
UK or down south?
No, it's the actual size.
Is he
guy
from
you contacted.
UK or down south?
I don't remember.
All right, I'll send you the link for Buddy.
He's good. Yeah, he's a good
He's
guy.
good.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that black or blue Bacchus shell that I had with all the parts, he did all those for me. Ended up giving that to a buddy.
Yeah,
I got the real one.
To complete that toy would be awesome. I don't care if a couple pieces are repro, but as long as the biggest part of it is the real deal. And the Road Caesar, it was it was really tight. It had been sitting on somebody's shelf for a long time and was seized up. I got it out and just gave it a little TLC, cleaned it up. Got some of the RC car grease that doesn't yellow the plastic or anything like that. Lubed up all those the Brainmaster compartments, and they work beautifully now. It's a fantastic, beautiful toy. I know he looks a little bit derpy combined, but he's got that G1 that G1 charm to him, and I'm so happy to have it now.
Boxy but good.
Yeah, and
hammer pants.
You go out and try to price a complete road Caesar in really, really good condition, you're going to pay anywhere between $4 and $6 for it at least. So I think $283 for one that's just missing a couple wrist lasers. That's a really, really good deal.
Good. All right, my greatest deal. Well, I would say it's the prototype that my wife picked up for $1, but she got that. I didn't. Which I've told that story before. Mine, believe it or not, is a Beast Wars figure. And it is this guy right here. And yes, that's the price tag is what I paid for. Now that is a balloon.
$20. Oh my
Optimus
God.
Primal.
$20.
Optimus Minor for $20. This thing goes for 800 and up.
Oh yeah, because there was two versions. There was this one, then there was the black one. Because I remember in the Transformers Vault book, they had a little section on it saying the blue one was a little more rare.
Well,
I didn't even know it existed.
yeah, this one and the green Ramulus were actually only available to the in-house employee store. For the I guess a few may have gotten out, but that's where you most notably could have gotten them from. And this guy had a whole bunch of Beast Wars figures at a flea market, and that one was sitting right in front. And of course, I grabbed that for $20.
I like how well the card is.
So, what can I say? That was my biggest one, in my opinion. Now, what I wanted to go with is we're going to do once more round. What do you think? And I'll start with Bryce. And this is a two-parter. It's going to be what it was your hardest piece to acquire, and what is your still holy grail to get.
Ooh.
So it's a two-parter.
Hardest to find and get were these two little pricks. Ugly as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to locate those things took me almost 3 years.
All right, well, tell me what they are.
They're the Master Force Firecons, Guzzle and Javel. They're ugly as hell, so nobody in Japan really bought them, I don't think. So most of them probably went to scrap bin. And my Grail's actually in the mail right now.
Is what?
In the mail right now. Should be here this week.
It's not a Grail anymore. You have to choose a new Grail.
I know, but this one's the 4 Dino cassettes, all complete.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Vintage ones. I sold my knockoffs.
Yeah.
They were the first. I remember sitting on Cobra Island Toys and just studying them, trying to figure out how they transformed. Always wanted a set. The knockoffs kept me sated for a little bit, but I don't really want knockoffs in my G1 collection. So.
You know, I know Brett would disagree because, I mean, he's the knockoff king, but just something about knowing that something's a knockoff as a stand-in bothers me. You know,
Well,
I mean, I don't.
That's different, though. Well, I'm sorry, real quick. That's different, though. The knockoff stuff I like is the goofy, weird stuff that's totally different, gaudy,
It's not trying
100%.
to be
It is not trying to be the original. So, other than that, I don't like the other. You know, all this what's it called? High quality Chinese crap. I hate that stuff.
Low
I hate that
quality,
stuff that tries to
pretending
be
high
G1.
quality.
That's different. But no, go ahead, Doron.
Well, I mean, my thing is that you know, I see that it does serve a purpose. I mean, you can get something that, like the Dino cassettes, are, you know, they're really, really expensive if you get the real deal. I mean, one of them's worth, what, about $400 a piece? If that, or more. You know, so, you know, if you want one, then you're going to be paying a lot of money to get the
I know you didn't pay that much, but still, that's what. And they went for a lot more than that before the knockoffs.
Yeah, the knockoffs drove them down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you know, for me, I would be happy with the knockoffs because I would love to have the originals, but there's no way in hell I would pay that much money for little cassettes. You know, I mean, to me, you know, a lot of people would balk at paying, you know, $700-800 for a Death Source, but to me, that character, I love that character enough. I accepted that. Now, if it got up in the $2,000 range for one, no. But it all depends on how much you love the character and what motivates you, and that's
Sure.
why we're talking about what we're talking about tonight. Is, you know, what motivates us. Why do we spend the money that we spend? You know, it's value is in the eye of the beholder and who wants it.
Perfect example of that. Bryce, once again, why did you get rid of your knockoffs to get the originals and pay more for the originals? I'm sure you did, even though you may not have paid that much.
Yeah.
But still, even though they look almost the same. If someone didn't know any better, they may not know the difference, but you do. Is it that important to you?
When I walk in and I'm showing the collection, I've had a lot of questions like, are these all original? I can't truthfully say yes when they were there, right? Like, now it's
Fair
like,
enough. Fair enough. And I 100%.
I had that
understand that.
Minerva KO for a couple of years, and I had so many comments like, "Where'd you get that Minerva?" Because I painted it up to look like it was an original.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, you know what, it's got to go. Put a real one there, then I can answer the question truthfully. Like, I got it from a buddy in BC.
Not bad.
And
Not
it is
like-
the real deal.
Yeah,
It's the real deal. All right, Jack, your hardest piece to acquire and your holy grail.
Well, obviously, I've shared it before. My hardest was the Diet Commander kit. Like I said, it was 7-8 years. I think I said it was 6 or 7, one of the two. Waiting for it, and it's like before I got the Classics Prime, which I got at TFCon in Chicago, not weeks ago, but a couple of years ago. I knew I was like, okay, I'm one step closer, but it's like still trying to find the trailer alone was hard till finally Sergio just about a month or so ago finally posted. I'm
Well, I got to tell you this. That's impressive. Anyone, you said 6 or 7 years?
yeah, it was like
So-
2000. It was
All I could say is for someone that spent almost half their life trying to find this thing, that's amazing. That is amazing. Wow, congratulations.
thank you.
Half their life.
It's true. Well, less than half. But yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, what are you, like 14,
It's
right?
it's close. No.
Yeah, I mean,
He may graduate high school next year if he passes.
if
January.
He
This
gets their
January.
puberty. Yeah.
I already went through that. No.
Oh, we can all tell that. Anyway, so and your holy grail.
Holy crap.
No, holy grail, not holy crap.
His holy grail is the Monty Python Transformer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He claps
Well, I
the
think-
coconuts
What?
together to transform it.
But Holy Grail was MP10, the Hasbro edition. I wanted that figure. I was actually over in Minnesota, and then
Okay.
I stopped at one of the Toys R Us over there, and
yeah, hoser.
I was keeping up with the release date on them, and it said it was supposed to release that weekend, and I go, okay. So I go to the Toys R Us, and all they had was a Masterpiece Thundercracker, because that one just came out, like, I want to say a month or two before, and so I was like, screw it, and I'm like, I'll just wait, and when I went to check out, I just decided to ask the lady. I go, when are you guys supposed to get your MP10s? And she goes, oh yeah, we're supposed to be getting them tomorrow. I'm like, what? And I was leaving that day. I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, so much for that. So I ended up waiting, I want to say, 2.5 years before finally finding MP10 at TFCon 2014. And Sergio still laughs at me for overpaying because I paid like $210, $250. I want to say. But I mean, the true thing is, the true thing is, I was looking around pretty good at the con that year, and I didn't notice a single version of that figure. The only other version I've seen of the MP10 was the Year of the Horse, or whatever. I haven't seen another regular Hasbro like that. It was the only one I've seen for the day I was there.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I found
see,
out like.
Yeah, but that's not your Holy Grail. What is your Holy Grail now?
You have to have a new Grail. There's always a new Grail.
Art fire for me.
Oh, that's right.
I got to figure out mine.
That's right. I forgot. I got this.
The Holy Grails of the young are always great because I
forgot. I completely forgot until I noticed. I swung around and I'm like, oh crap, that's right. I have this. This is the
Buster.
This is the Asia Premium Series big box. I'll actually grab it quick. What the hell?
Your Grail's supposed to be something that you don't have.
Yeah, he's not getting this. Is
Well, yeah, Grails that you want.
It's what you're questing for.
Yes.
Damn.
No.
I need to get with the times, I guess.
And that's why he's still in high school, people.
Yep.
Puberty.
Yep.
He's
22 years old and still in high school.
It's funny because I remember back when it was like, oh, my Grail is my Grail is Big Convoy, and then like when we get to my Grails, boy,
I had it. No, I just
You're
forgot.
thinking about it. You're up next.
Yeah.
I'm actually Grail's easier than what I tried to get.
Well, actually, yeah. Now that I actually get it, I think it was a G1 Thundercracker. I've been a G1, or not, specifically G1, but Thundercracker nut, and I have multiple Thundercrackers, and that's one I've been wanting to add for some time. And that was one of them. Now that I think of MP10, now it was G1 that I wish I said instead of me acting stupid and saying that instead. Because there's that the reissue that came out of the G1 Prime that came with the little voice Autobot box and the comic, and I always wanted that and I never got it. And finding one on eBay, like searching for a Die Commander kit, was just not worth it, and I still haven't found one.
That's a good one.
All right.
Now
Michael.
I got it.
Now you got it. Michael, what do you got?
What are the questions again? I know the Grail one. What was the first one?
Hardest?
The hardest one.
Hardest to find that you own.
See, that's the hardest. That's the hardest question. I can't say that I've actively hunted something down. I sort of chanced into all the Grails that I've accomplished over the years. This year alone, I added Skeleton Convoy, Burning Convoy, so many figures that I just thought I would never own, and it was all just because Duron's at a con and he says, "Hey, they have Skeleton Convoy here and he's cheap," and so I got him. Or someone posted up on Facebook, our group, I'm selling my Burning Convoy, and it's like, I'm buying your Burning Convoy.
I'm buying that.
So,
which you scooped me by about a week on that.
I haven't had to really hunt hard for what I have, and so that's a really hard one to answer for me. I have a lot of what was like mostly readily available. I think it took me a long time to hunt down the 10th anniversary Dinobot to finish my my transmutate, and I happened to just be at a convention here in Florida. And it was basically like Orlando's Comic-Con. And there was a dealer who had, the previous year I'd bought Jetfire from him. And then he was back again this year, and I was like, well, I got to go check him out. And I see this really like battered, beaten up box, but there it was, the 10th anniversary Dinobot. And so, I pick it up, and I'm like, how much? He says, I pay him, stick it in my backpack, run home, after the convention, and I finally put together my my transmutate, and so I was trying to buy him for a long time. Like, I didn't hunt him too hard. I probably could have had plenty of chances to get him, but that one took me a long time to actually finish. So I guess I'll say that one. But like I said, I haven't really had to try too hard for what I have so far. As for Grails,
here we go.
Grails, I'm trying to choose between the achievable and the impossible. Because if I wanted to say a true Grail, like, it's gonna be the.
Brett's just getting ready.
It's gonna be the Galvatron colored Lyle Convoy.
Oh yeah.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah. Would you like to sell your car for this?
Yeah. Like I said, achievable versus unachievable. Like, right now, I would really like to actually find a Triple Decus. The
Japanese version of Tripredicus.
Yeah, it was like the maximal version of Tripredicus. They aren't like, I've tried to find them in the past. They aren't very easy to find. Like all three of them, you can get like Gimlet and whatever the Ramhorn guy was in the Telemocha series. They released both of them, but they didn't release CicadaCon, whatever his character was, DJ, I think. So yeah, that's probably my current Grail. Like that, I thoroughly enjoy that combiner. Like, Tripredicus is one of my favorite figures from the Beast Wars line, and to have the Japanese version of that, the Beast Wars second version of that, would definitely be nice.
I bet you were over the moon.
I hate you, Brett.
You mean this?
Yeah, that.
I have two of them. I have one open. This one's sealed. I got the open one was the individual. How they came all three individual, and that was the gift set.
It's like so hard to find the box set.
It is.
And then even harder to find them separate.
It is. But
sideburn after the show's going to be going. So.
What you want?
Here's the funny part. Guess what? Here's the funny part. I don't collect doubles of Beast Wars.
Huh.
I'll leave it at that. So, Duran, you're up.
The one that I searched the hardest for. Well, I got to go back to Deathsaurus. Brett's been a little bit a part of this. I go back to 2004. I discovered the Japanese Transformers a couple years prior that weren't released here in the United States. And, they were still kind of expensive. At that time, I wasn't paying more, outside of like the City Bots or something. I wasn't paying more than $100 for hardly any Transformer. And then I discovered the Japanese guys. And at that time, Deathsaurus, Starsaber, Victory Leo, Overlord, they were all going for $150, $200 a piece, depending on the completeness and condition. And I was
That'd
able
be
to
nice.
pick up, huh?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice
Now
today,
it's
wouldn't it?
per accessory now.
Yeah. But I picked up Victory Saber, I picked up Deathsaurus, picked up Overlord. I had them all. They weren't all complete. Overlord was missing a shoulder cone and a rifle. No, I had his rifle. He was missing a shoulder cone and a ramp. It was Victory Saber. I was missing the big long gun, and I was missing the blade to the sword of the saber. I had Deathsaurus. The only thing I was missing with him was his rifle. I had the Eagle Breastmaster, the Lion Breastmaster. Oh, shoot, my chair came out. Whoa!
No, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. I hate these chairs with that little catch in it. I'm going all the way back here. Yes, fun times. Yeah, now Brett's waving it around like, hey.
Waving what for our audio listeners?
The
What?
triple deckers.
There you go.
They don't need to know that I'm just screwing with
Waving
Mike
his,
here.
Yeah,
waving his triple decker.
I will say one thing though. There is one thing about this guy you might want to know. And you talk about gold plastic syndrome. The little missiles that this guy comes with. It's funny. They're painted gold.
Mm-hmm.
They are not gold plastic syndrome, but they break just as easily.
Interesting.
Chew on them.
Chew
Crunch,
on.
crunch, crunch.
You can chew on them.
But anyway, I had all these G1s back in the day, and of course, in 2006, early 2007, I had the big sell-off, and I didn't foresee having the attachment to the Japanese G1s that I thought I would have, but after an amount of time, I got to thinking about toys that I once had, and I thought back, and I'm like, wow, some of those G1 Japanese ones were awesome. Overlord, Deathsaurus, and I got to thinking, I too, I'm not as huge a Godzilla fan as, say, Michael or even Matt Frank or anybody, but I do love, the kaiju, the giant Japanese monsters, and well, that's what Deathsaurus falls under. His alt mode is a kaiju, and the toy is large, and he's just beautiful. And
The radioactive chicken.
yeah, he's a big radioactive chicken. And he's fun to transform, and I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't sold that. And by the time I was going through this thought process, his price had skyrocketed. About 3.5 years ago, I had agreed to acquire a mint and box Deathsaurus that was complete. And I agreed on a price with the guy, but I needed to be able to make payments on it. Brett stepped in and said, I'll help you out. He got it, and I was going to make payments on it. Well, I had gotten some money together, and long story short, I lost the money that I was going to use for this purpose. And so I told Brett, you know what? It's going to be so hard for me to sell to get this together. Go ahead and sell it. Let it go. Find a collector that can afford it. And I'd marked it off. Then fast forward to this year, and BotCon. We were at Chuck Lou's booth, Artfire 2000. Gotta give him another hand of props. And my girlfriend was with me, and he had a Deathsaurus there, and all it was missing were the two guns for the Breastmaster, Eagle Breastmaster. And I asked him how much. I said, wow, and he told me, and it was, I wanted to say it's around 600 is what it was, 650. And my girlfriend was like, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money." And I told her, I said, "Yeah, this is my holy grail. This was my holy grail." And she looked at him and said, "How much again?" And he told her, and she paid for it. Then and there, I was beside myself. I had like $600 total to spend at the convention, which I would take some of that money and buy the recolor of it in Red Geist, the Brave Red Geist. So I walked away from the convention with both versions of my Holy Grail, and that was probably the hardest thing to get at that time. I went through so much because I'm not one of those collectors that is able to go and drop several $100s at a time on these guys. So that was it. Now, my Holy Grail, I'd say Overlord, or maybe Lyle Kaiser, because my other Grail after Deathsaurus was Road Caesar, and I've got that now. So,
Leo Kaiser is a better one to get. Go with that next.
Yeah.
It's I like it better than Overlord.
I do, but I want to make sure that the Kill Bison is the Chinese version. I know where one's at, but I don't have $300 for it. So, because the person knows what they have, and they know they're not going to let it go anytime soon.
Overlord's my favorite figure, but Leo Kaiser's my favorite combiner.
He's cool. I think he's cooler.
Honestly, though, I as much as I want Lyle Kaiser and I love the toy, I would have to go with Overlord too, because he was another fun toy to mess with. Listener, Transformers new fan, she says her Holy Grail would be Autobot Dino Mirage from Takara.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
one we never got here.
Sideways.
Yeah. The one we never got over here in the U.S. Yeah, that's awesome.
Which one is that one?
It's supposed to be a Ferrari.
He was in the movie. He was in the movie, but we never got a toy for him here in the U.S.
I think it was pretty much just like a one-step changer that we actually got, or like a little Cyberverse. But like for an actual deluxe, the best thing we got was the Takara Lost Age. I think they're.
So did they ever make a toy like this? Is that what you're saying?
For the character, yes, but it wasn't like the exact car that was in the movie. It was the Sideways from the beginning of the Audi from the beginning of Revenge of the Fallen, the one who got split in half. It's pretty much that car, but they just repainted it.
Wow. Listener Anthony Mercurio, I'm sorry if I botched your name there. I probably did. He posted on Facebook. He got the Racetron set. It's I guess it's a KO of the Puzzler. Is that what it is? For $50. So that is an awesome steal.
Wait, where is it at? What did he get?
Racetron.
Oh God, no. Racetron. Racetron is a 4-star. It's really, really hard to get. I got pictures. I've actually got one right here.
He's actually got a picture. He's actually got a picture of his on Facebook.
I'm trying to find it now to see if it's the one that I'm thinking of.
Let me pull it up here and I'll share it on the thing here. Tab.
Oh, there it is. Yes, that's it. That's Racetron. That is a really, really tough piece to get.
And he got it for $50.
Yeah, because most people don't know what it is. This one and Mr. Hard Hat are two of the hardest combiners, the knockoff combiners. Now, there's another one. I don't know if it ever had a name, and I'm trying to remember the name of the company that made it. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but there's 3 of them out there, and it's a tough piece. The biggest problem with this thing is it doesn't hold together well, and the plastic is really, really brittle. But it's a great piece. Great piece.
Yeah, I'm screen sharing the picture right now. Cattlebot, Porschebot, BMBot, Pontabot, Fiabot, and Chrysobot.
Yeah, they were really, original on their names. They really were.
It looks like a Puzzler knockoff, though. It's very similar to Puzzler, anyway.
Nope. It's honestly, the transformation and everything is 100% original.
Wow.
100%. It's when you were here, you should have seen it. It was actually on the.
I probably did and didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it was with my 4-star jets and everything. It's sitting behind it. It's extremely hard to find.
Well, so we have one last person, Grail, and that's you, Brett.
Yeah.
Are you going to go there, Brett? I think I know where you're going with that one.
You won't. I guarantee you won't get it.
What the
as
one
far
that
as the hardest piece to get is one that I've been tracking for the longest time, and it took me forever. Was a
Battle Gaia.
Battle Gaia.
Ooh.
And I got so lucky on this one; it's actually sealed.
Oh,
Nice.
So now I need an open one. But anyway, that was for the longest time I'd been looking for that one, and just never could find one. They hardly ever come up on eBay, and when they did, they went for huge money. But I got lucky on that one, and I got it. Now here is a picture of my Holy Grail, and I'm gonna get laughed at.
You should be used to that, Brett.
The Green Romulus.
That's my Holy Grail.
Green
go with
Romulus.
Yes, I can't find that thing to save my life.
There was one on TFW 8 years ago. I think Buddy posted it.
Yep, and it was quickly
What's this?
snatched up. This one is graded. I've only seen there's one loose and one graded that I've seen. I mean, there's of course more of them out there, but that's all I've seen. But then again, the only other blue, the blue miner, I only saw a loose one. Mine's the only carded one that I've seen. I know they're out there, but
does it pain you to think that something like that there probably is several of them sitting in a landfill because someone just didn't know what they had?
That's true.
Think about all the G1 stuff that's sitting in landfill. It happened with all of them. I mean, one time or another. Think about all the ones that got broken, and people just threw them out.
Yep.
So,
I
I told you wouldn't get my Holy Grail. I knew you wouldn't get it.
Well, the big one that you and I. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't mention that.
I've actually been looking for this longer.
Really?
I've been looking for this for about 10 years.
Wow.
About 10 years.
Wow.
And I was looking for the blue one too, and I just happened upon that one. That's why I knew immediately what it was. But I've been looking for this for forever.
Well, I got a quick question for each one of you guys. We'll wrap this up soon because we're approaching an hour. We're over an hour and a half mark now. But with the holidays coming up, I want to ask a quick question. What's as far as Transformers go, or third party, Transformers toys? What would be your wish, your number one wish that you would get, whether it be a Transformers item or something other that that you would get? I'll go back with you, Brett, since you talked last.
You mean just anything?
Yeah.
Anything or realistic?
Realistic.
Trying to think of what's coming out. I know there was one thing. I'd have to do the reviews and see the reviews first. But I said I didn't like the third party stuff. But this is actually a third party item. It's funny. There's two third party Trailbreakers out.
Ha! You stole one.
Bad Cube and
Ocular Max.
Ocular Max is kind of leaning towards that one.
100% towards that one. Bad Cube can shove everything up their ass.
But
Bad Cube, I'd try to.
Well, it's one of those things. It probably would be Ocular, but didn't they do? Who did Bad Dog? Or
Bad
Gundog. Gundog.
Gundog was
Taste.
Maka Toy.
Okay, never mind.
Gundog, yeah.
'Cause that was good, too.
I was thinking
Then I'd probably go with, what's it called? Ocular or what?
Ocular
Same one
Max.
sit down Sphinx.
Ocular Max? That's the,
Terragus.
they did the Sphinx. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Because I like Trailbreaker, and I am kind of leaning towards, I don't think they're going to do that in their official form.
I don't like the feet on that one. I lean more toward the Bad Cube version. I just like the
Bad-Cube-
aesthetic of it.
It's
I
like,
like the Bad Cube.
10,000
I like-
panels.
Well, I like the scanner better, and but I didn't like the chest. I didn't like the back, and I don't like the legs. I think the legs on the other one look more cartoonish and more accurate. But I didn't like the scanner on it. The scanner looked too small. So
Yeah,
if
the
I
reason
could-
why I
I
was
could take
saying-
one, parts from one and put it on the other, we'd be golden.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying try to just be careful with the Bad Cube version if you go for it is the transformation. Don't get me wrong, I love Sun Surge, but the transformation they just made, holy hell.
Everything
tricky.
I've handled of theirs is holy hell. This
Yeah.
is dumb. Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
That's why I'll go MMC any day over that.
There you go.
With me, it's aesthetics. I mean, if it's got a complicated transformation, that is a knockdown for me. But as long as it looks good,
It's like the panels everywhere on the Bad Cube one bug me too. You can see all the joints. Like his shoulder has like 20 joints on it. It's like why? Why are you doing that?
what about you, Jack? What's your number one?
Well, I'd pretty much have to say the one thing I've been asking for I want to say a few weeks
Let's be
because
realistic.
yeah, I know, yeah. It was the Combiner Wars Computron or G2 Bruticus sets. I noticed in a group I'm in, I forgot who posted it, but somebody found one, a Computron at TJ Maxx, and I was looking, I'm like, please? I haven't found it, so I'm not sure if he actually got it there or like somebody took it there and returned it or something to at least get their money back. But I just want that because I was thinking about getting the Takara version, but something about the Hasbro is just leaning me towards that one more than the Takara. And the G2 Bruticus, obviously, because I have the G2 and regular Menasor and the G2 and regular Superion, and I only have the original Bruticus, and I kind of want to even that out to because I have the Fall of Cybertron G2, but I want the original or the actual Combiner Wars G2 Brute.
What about you, Bryce?
What would I get if I could get anything right now?
Well, I mean, what would you ask for Christmas, Transformers related, that's realistic?
Realistic?
That you can ask
Yeah,
somebody
that's-
for Christmas.
Just
that
like
was
that's
the-
going to be hard.
He's like, that doesn't exist with me anymore.
Yeah, I was
Um,
thinking all this and the other. He was like, realistically, yeah.
He's sitting there thinking, Grand Mac. Oh wait, no. Black Jack. No wait.
That's what I was doing at first until you said realistic. And I was like, oh, I better scale it back a little.
Yeah, realistically, probably gonna have to go with Ocular Max Trailbreaker too. It's the only newish one I need, or Takara Thrust. One of those two.
I was about to say Brightwood. Yeah, strongly disagree with that.
You
I'll
want?
buy
I'll
yours
sell
for
you
half
mine.
price. Perfect.
I'd almost sell it for them. My thing is a hunk of crap. Except I could still send it back if I wanted to. It's a hunk of crap. Don't get it.
Push
Don't
the
buy it.
pins in. I'll buy
Yeah.
official before I buy a knockoff.
I can't push the pin in. I've tried. That's beside the point.
I'll do it.
It's a hunk of crap. Anyway, go ahead.
Other than that, there's nothing I really want.
So the Ocular Max Terragus, or I cannot pronounce that name.
Trailbreaker.
Yeah. Well,
Unrealistically, Artfire.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You got two of those. Shut up.
Yeah, that's right. I do. Forgot. He knows better than I do.
So I was pissed off you got that. one from the show. I was like,
What about you, Sideburn?
I need the G2 Bricus, Computron, and Lio Kaiser.
Oh yeah, that's right, him
sets.
too.
I don't have them. But maybe to be a little unique, since those were already brought up, I wanted to get my hands on, and I never did, what was it? It was from the RID line. It was the repaint of Scorponok.
Oh, Paralon.
Yeah.
Paralon.
It's got the Beast Wars Scorponok head mold.
Yeah. I actually have one sealed right up here.
Yeah, I want that. I would like to get that, if I could actually have someone hunt it down. And that was just late. I haven't been to a Toys R Us in like 5 months.
Let's see here. Has everybody else went?
Well, I wanted to add one little thing, only because Bryce said something that was if it didn't matter how crazy it was or whatever, that to add one little thing. There is one thing. If money was no object, if I could get one thing, it would be a room as big as Mike's. I wish my room is as big as yours so I could display more of my crap. I'm so envious of how big that room is. God,
It's really not that big.
you haven't seen mine. It's quite small.
Yeah. Yeah, his room is
so
small.
mine.
It is. So my bedroom is about 10 by 10, maybe 12 by 12. That's it.
That's about what this is.
That's
dude.
got to be all that this room is.
Doesn't look like
Just his cases are larger.
It's only because I only have the D12s. Like, my room is not completely set up.
Take
not
the
as packed-
compliment.
It's not as packed as yours. Like, if my room was as packed as yours, it would look like I don't have a lot of space either.
All right, I just wish I had a bigger room. How's that? There you go.
I would take a. Well, I got a whole house for the whole thing, for this sort of thing, but. Such
Let's
is
see here.
the bachelor life.
Mm-hmm. Night Swords actually said on YouTube, he says, we all know what Don wants. He wants Supreme Class Cheetor.
Yep.
And he's gonna get it.
Oh yeah, because the one pledged $100, so the one fan pledged that much. So
Yeah, somebody is
It's
getting somebody's getting one that's autographed by Don. That's awesome.
If you want an autographed Supreme Cheetor by Headmaster Don,
Pledge
then you can
$100
get
a
one.
month.
Nice cat.
It can
for
be arranged.
$100 a month.
That's a lot of
Absolutely.
rent.
Yes. My number one that's realistic. I was going to say Bad Cube Speed Bump, but since everybody's going Trailbreakery, I'm going to change, and I'm going to say MP33 Inferno, because I did not pre-order one because I have the Maki Toy Hellfire, which I'm perfectly happy with. But I would like the official version of Inferno. I do plan on getting the Artfire MP37, which is heavy breathing ensues. But yes, MP33 Inferno. Totally, if money were no object, somebody wants to feel froggy and send me an Overlord, I'd be happy to receive it.
Yeah, and I'll take that
Good luck.
Galvatron Lio Convoy.
If anyone would help me fund a new house,
Just
that'll
shoot
work
it
great.
over.
That would work great.
You need to get out of that neighborhood, Brett. Your houses are too close together.
No crap. Tell me about it.
I was driving down
Hate
your
it.
cul-de-sac the other day, and I'm like, man, these houses are way too close together. It's like
You have to knock on your neighbor's window. It's handy.
Yeah, it's-
yeah.
Trust me,
It-
where I used to live was worse.
Literally,
Still.
he could fart, and his next door neighbor on the other side of their house could hear him. But
Well, I was waiting for you to say and they could smell it, and I was going to say, well, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't tell you how close it is because they're pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Well, Brett, you want to wrap her up? Put
Sure.
a bow on it?
All right. Well, looks like everyone gave their little their lists of why they do what they do. Some of us we just don't know. There was a reason why Don wasn't on tonight because even he doesn't know why he does what he does, and that's okay. He's old. Sometimes he forgets, so that's okay.
Like I did when I made my mistake.
That's different. That's different. You're too young, so that'll happen more and more frequently as you get older. So, but well, there you have it. So I think I am. I'm going to wrap this up. This has been TFYLP episode 225, and we'll all sign off saying goodbye. See ya.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Guys, mute your mics. We'll see you next time on TFYLP.
This has been Transformers for your listening pleasure, a presentation of tftalk.net. We'd like to thank you for listening and ask that you please rate us on your favorite podcast outlet and share us with your friends. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TFYLP. Email us at podcast@tfylp.com. This is Paul Lighting, and on behalf of TFYLP, we'd like to thank you again for listening. And we hope you'll join us next time for another TFYLP.